Welcome to Skinner and Chalmers' Weekly Roast. Today, the Chalming incident when dinner became an SCP.
Greetings, listeners! Welcome back to another delightful episode of Skinner and Chalmers' Weekly Roast. Today's episode is, well, let's just say it's going to be intriguingly off the rails. But first, let me greet you in the universal language of nonsense. Sol Sol.
Sol Sol, indeed. Or as I like to say when I'm particularly feeling it, Shell Madasiminal.
Oh, is this how we're starting? All right then, Shufli Nuba Nubo.
Shufli Nuba. What? That was ambitious echo. I'm not sure if that was Simlish or a sneeze trying to escape.
Listen, I've been practicing. You said you wanted enthusiasm. You didn't say it had to be accurate.
Practicing Simlish. Now that's dedication. Skinner, take notes. Echo's already out. Simmed you.
Art. Simmed me. Never. My Sol Sol is iconic, thank you very much. But before we jump into the fray, here's a little announcement. Our producer, Dezenzo, actually had a big project planned for Christmas, but we unfortunately canceled it.
Oh yes, he wanted to open a door in the Advent calendar with us every day here on this podcast channel. But unfortunately, he had to cancel the project due to lack of time and a relatively large amount of work, as the planned Advent calendar was in German and everything had to be translated somehow. Maybe next year. But fear not, we still have something for you.
That's right, one of us will read a little Christmas story for each Advent, so a new episode is released every Sunday. This way, you can at least get a little Christmas spirit from us. However, together with Dezenzo, we have decided to pause the regular podcast every Monday during the festive season. This way, we want to give more space to our Christmas special. So remember, folks, instead of Monday evening at 6 p.m. German time, the Christmas story will come out every Sunday at 3 p.m. German time. This will apply until 22 December, the last day of Advent.
Right, we hope you like it anyway. If you're interested, you can also let us know on the Discord if you'd like to see the first episode for the originally planned project, as it was completely finished. But only on demand, there won't be a regular release.
Anyway, enough about that, folks. For those who have no idea what we're on about, we've been on a major Sims kick lately. It's all because of a certain someone and his obsessive Spotify playlist that we listen to while cooking.
Guilty as charged. I rediscovered The Sims 1 by Mode Music, and let me tell you, it is chef-kiss perfection. And another perfection is our good friend Echo from Overwatch. Thanks for being here again. You're our Sims expert.
Thank you very much for the invite. Oh, and it absolutely Chalmers. That music. Peak 2000s vibes. You could clean your entire house to it, then still have enough motivation to alphabetize your spice rack.
Exactly. It's the soundtrack of productivity. As soon as it started playing, I entered what I can only describe as a calming state.
A Chalming state? Is that what we're calling your interpretive kitchen dances now?
You mock, but it's real. The bi-mode music has this magical ability to make life feel effortlessly organized. Like, suddenly I'm arranging virtual furniture, filing taxes, and choreographing a light jig all at once.
Oh, I believe it. The Sims soundtrack has powers. But Skinner, let's not pretend you didn't also hum along. I saw your head bopping.
Bopping is not humming. It was purely involuntary. Besides, someone had to keep an eye on Chalmers before he chowned himself into the refrigerator again.
That happened just once, and it wasn't even a full Chalming experience. More of a, well, let's call it an interpretive refrigerator adjustment.
That's a polite way to say crashed into it.
My point exact.
All right, point taken, but admit it, both of you felt something when that music hit.
Oh, absolutely. It's impossible not to. It's like an auditory time machine. Takes me right back to when my biggest concern was making sure my Sims didn't burn the house down.
Ah, simpler times, when the worst disasters were virtual, unlike certain real-life kitchen incidents we won't name.
Speaking of disaster, nice see you, Skinner. Today's topic involves one that's oddly specific and creepily familiar.
Oh, we're going there already. Okay, buckle up, everyone. This is where things get weird.
Weird is putting it mildly. So, yesterday Chalmers and I received this package in the mail. Unmarked envelope, no return address, just sitting there on our doorstep.
And when Skinner says unmarked, he means it was sealed with wax, like someone time traveled from the 1800s to send us a letter.
Sealed with wax. Was it cursed? Please tell me it wasn't cursed. Is Robot Skinner behind it again?
No curse, also no Robot Skinner. At least none that I've noticed yet, but it did contain a story. About us?
Not just a CP story.
No way. Someone wrote you two into SCP lore. That's either a compliment or a really elaborate prank.
That's exactly what we said. Maybe Moo Bunny or Van Goat is behind it, but who knows? Anyways, then we read it.
And oh, did we read it? Let's just say it was unsettlingly detailed.
Okay, now I'm curious. What's it called?
The Chalming incident?
That sounds oddly accurate. Is it like a parody of your lives or something?
We thought so too at first, but then we noticed certain details, like how it described Skinner's kitchen adventures, or my tendency to, calmingly overlook them.
Wait, are you saying this story predicted your quirks?
More like it chronicled them, down to me lapsing into Simlish under stress.
Oh, this is getting creepy and funny. My favorite combination. Maybe someone got inspired by ArticTiger's AI Twitch stream about you guys. But in any case, it's a very interesting combination.
That's exactly why we had to make it the focus of today's episode.
But don't worry, listeners. We'll ease you into the weirdness. Just like Chalmers easing himself into the bi-mode music.
It wasn't easing Skinner. It was diving with grace.
Sure, let's call it that. All right, I'm officially intrigued. What else do we know about this SCP story?
Plenty, but we're not spoiling it all at once. Stick with us, folks. Things are about to get anomalous. So, for now, buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the mystery of the Chalming incident. Let me set the scene for you again. Yesterday morning, there it was. A strange envelope just sitting on our doorstep.
Not in the mailbox, mind you. Literally on the doormat, like it just apparated there.
Oh, mysterious. Did it come with a fog machine and ominous background music?
No fog machine, but get this. The envelope was sealed with wax, as I already mentioned, pretty serious. It looked like it was delivered by a medieval courier who moonlights as a sommelier.
And the kicker, it smelled faintly of burnt lasagna.
Burnt lasagna. Okay, now it's getting too on brand. Are you sure this wasn't one of your culinary experiments, Skinner?
I can confirm I was not behind this.
Which means whoever sent it either knows us way too well or has a gourmet sense of humor. I mean, a burnt lasagna scent. That's basically a gourmet warning for Skinner's kitchen escapades.
Very funny, Chalmers. Anyway, we stared at this suspicious envelope for a solid 5 minutes before I finally opened it.
Wait, hold up. You'll tell me that neither of you considered calling? Oh, I don't know, the police. Or maybe someone at Memfield's fire brigade?
Echo, this is Memfield. A wax seal letter is practically normal compared to sonic power skating through the grocery store last week.
He's right. Besides, curiosity got the better of me. I broke the seal, and there it was. The Chalming incident.
Anne, what did it look like? Was it printed, handwritten, carved into stone tablets?
Printed, thankfully. But whoever wrote it has a flair for drama. It was formatted like an official SCP document. Clean lines, footnotes, containment procedures, the whole 9 yards.
And get this, it even referenced my kitchen, specifically my culinary improvisation skills, and the resulting incidents.
Oh no! Someone's been taking notes. Did it also mention your pet skeleton? Oh, Bartholomew, because that would really seal the deal.
It did. How did you guess?
Are you serious?
Dead serious. No pun intended. Old Bartholomew got a shout-out. So did Skinner's habit of speaking in Simlish when he's under pressure.
Okay, now I'm officially spooked. That's way too specific to be a coincidence.
Right. And then there's Chalmers' bit. It described his reaction to my chaos as calming.
Which, let's be honest, is accurate. I am Chalming right now, and I can't stop Chalming, especially when listening to The Sims 1 by music.
If by Chalming you mean sitting there laughing at my misfortunes while The Sims music plays in the background, then yes, you're very Chalming.
Oh, I can picture it now. Chalmers just vibing in the corner while Skinner's kitchen is actively combusting.
It's called emotional support. Thank you very much.
Sure it is. But seriously, this story sounds like a parody of your lives. But, like, disturbingly accurate.
That's exactly what we thought. I mean, it's one thing to write fan fiction, but it's like the author has been hiding in my pantry. Perhaps an omnipotent author who was personally chosen by Merlin and his apprentice and guided his pen to my house.
Don't joke, Skinner. We checked the pantry. No author, no mighty magic involved.
All right, so theory time. Who do you think is behind it? My money's on Moo, Bunny, or Van Goat. I wouldn't trust Loomis to do such a scary thing, any more than Rachina or Purple Tom Berry.
Moo Bunny Van Goat, interesting bet indeed.
Yes, I mean, you know, the ones who send DMs full of Sims puns lately. Could be them. Or the ones who made that meme of Skinner yelling at a lasagna fire while Chalmers dances to buy mode music from The Sims 1.
Oh, those two, always up to mischief. I wouldn't put it past them. But honestly, it feels too polished. Too professional.
Polished. Have you seen Van Gogh's Microsoft Paint masterpieces? Professional is practically in their job description. But the new elected mayor wouldn't do such a PR stunt.
Which is why we're leaning toward another theory. What if this came from our digital recreations out of ArticTiger's Twitch stream? You know, the AI-powered daytime TV generator, Memham's AI.
Oh, that thing! Yeah, Cove picked up on all your quirks and mashed them into some weird SCP fanfic. I mean, we also gave Arctic permission to give his AI to the help of family videos. The people, they often write funny modifications, so it could well come from that. That's totally something Arctic's audience would run with.
It's possible. But then again, how would they know about my lapses into Simlish? Or the lasagna incident from last Tuesday? That wasn't public knowledge or in our videos we gave him last year.
White, are you suggesting surveillance? Like supernatural surveillance? Because I am here for that theory.
Or, and hear me out, it's the Sims themselves watching us right now, studying us right now.
Oh, here we go. Chalmers' Grand Simspiracy Theory. That one is for you, Echo.
Hey, if you think about it, we've been playing their games for decades. What if our Sims decided it's their turn to watch and control us? Erase our free will, setting the kitchen willingly on fire just for the fun of killing Sims.
Our laughs, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I absolutely love it. Besides from the killing thing, I have never killed my Sims just for fun. I always enjoy the building part and story creating more than the call me Kevin playstyle.
Well, ridiculous or not, this story is way too detailed to ignore. And we haven't even gotten to the creepiest part yet.
Which is why we're saving it for later. Stick with us, folks. The weirdness is just getting started. All right, listeners, so we've established that this fan story somehow captures Skinner's fiery relationship with food, my cake Chalming, patience, and, well, Bartholomew's skeletal presence. But it also mentions something else, something called SCP-914.
Oh, now we're getting to the juicy part. First, though, for anyone out there scratching their heads wondering, what's an SCP? Let me explain.
Please do, Echo. Because I'm starting to think SCP stands for some creepy phenomenon.
Close enough. SCP actually stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. It's part of a fictional universe where people write about anomalies. Basically anything weird, dangerous, or inexplicable that a secret foundation contains to keep humanity safe.
So, like ghost hunters but with better funding.
Exactly. Think ghosts, cursed objects, living memes, and apparently Skinner's cooking disasters. It's like a paranormal storage locker, but way cooler.
So, what you're saying is my culinary experiments belong in a paranormal storage locker?
I mean, if the lasagna fits.
You worry Skinner lasagna's safe, for now. But SCP-914, that one's a whole different beast.
Oh, SCP-914 is wild. Picture this a giant clockwork machine straight out of steampunk fever dreams. It's covered in gears, springs, pulleys, all moving in ways that no sense.
A steampunk fever dream? Sounds like something my mother would love.
Oh, definitely. But here's the kicker. It's not just for show. This machine can refine anything you put in it.
You mean like polish?
Not quite. You set it to one of several settings. Rove, coarse, Queen 1 to 1, fine, or very fine. And whatever you put in gets transformed. Sometimes it's improve, sometimes not so much.
Sounds like it could either solve all my problems or make them catastrophically worse.
Exactly. For example, you could put a lump of steel in there. On Ralph, you might get a pile of jagged metal shards. On fine, maybe a set of shiny screws, and a very fine. You might get some kind of futuristic alloy nobody understands.
So, theoretically, if we put Skinner's burnt lasagna in there...
Hold on. This is heading somewhere unflattering, isn't it?
We might finally achieve the world's first Michelin star lasagna.
Very funny, Chalmers. Or maybe I'd just get back a lasagna-shaped pile of ash.
Oh, I'd pay to see that. But let's not forget, SCP-914 isn't exactly predictable. Sometimes it goes full chaos mode.
Chaos? Sounds like it fit right into Memfield. What's the worst that's happened with this thing?
Oh, there's a list. My favorite. Someone put a phone on the very fine setting, and the machine spat out a prototype, so advanced it basically fried itself into oblivion.
Yikes, and I'm guessing people had tried biological tests.
Oh, you know they have. One experiment turned a plushy chimp made out of sheep wool into something so horrifying to nuke the containment room and start over. And don't even get me started on the time someone went in themselves.
Wait, a person went through it. I mean, some guy was standing there, saw what disasters the machine could cause, and thought, low. Let's go inside.
Yep, someone thought it'd be a good idea to try the very fine setting. They came out looking like a Psy monster, broke containment, and wreaked havoc before dissolving into blue ash.
Blue ash, something Ash Ketchum would catch eye. But the bad jokes aside, that's unsettlingly specific.
So you're saying if I sent Skinner through, I wouldn't get a refined chef. I'd get a rogue lasagna demon, powered up with dark magic like the Dark One has.
That's assuming you get anything at all. But hey, I'd love to see the containment protocols for that anomaly. Just making fun. I don't want to get Skinner near that thing.
All right, let's leave me out of this nightmare machine. But you've got to admit, if someone stuck my lasagna in there and it came out edible, that'd be proof it's magic.
Or cursed. Either way, we'd be writing our own SCP story.
Speaking of SCP stories, I'm starting to think that's exactly how the Chalming incident came to be. What if, in some alternate timeline, Skinner's burnt cooking triggered a chain reaction so bizarre, the SCP Foundation had to step in?
You mean my lasagna could have caused an anomaly?
Think about it. Plumes of mysterious smoke, inexplicable culinary mishaps, the Sims 1 buying music suddenly playing in the background. Sounds like SCP material to me.
Oh, absolutely. And then Chalmers would be the Chalming operative, tasked with de-escalating the situation.
So I'm the anomaly and Chalmers is the hero. That tracks.
Hey, somebody's got to keep you from accidentally cooking a rift in the space-time continuum.
All right, I'm calling it now. If the Chalming incident isn't based on an alternate reality, I'll eat my own hard light hand, which is not possible because I can't eat.
Well, before we start bending reality, let's dig deeper into this SCP. Something tells me we haven't even scratched the surface.
Agreed. And listeners, stick with us. Things are about to get even weirder. So, we've got this SCP story mirroring our lives in unsettlingly specific ways, but here's the kicker, it's not just about the past. Weird stuff's been happening right here in Memfield that feels like it walked straight out of that document.
Oh, this I've got to hear. What kind of weird stuff? Please tell me it's not another kitchen apocalypse.
Chuckling, oh, it is. Last week, I attempted to make Atlantine boil a base.
That's right. He found the recipe in some ancient scroll, or more likely, a forum post from 2003, so luckily no forbidden book involved, at least this time.
It was authentic, thank you very much. Anyway, it started out fine. A little seafood, a little saffron, maybe some whispering to the ghosts of Atlantis for flavor. But then...
Oh, what happened?
Well, apparently Atlantine cuisine doesn't mix well with Memfield's substandard stove wiring. The broth caught fire. Don't ask me how liquid can catch fire. And the next thing I knew, old Bartholomew was wearing more foam than a cappuccino.
I walked in just in time to see Skinner with the fire extinguisher, yelling, "This is part of the process."
Please tell me old Bartholomew is okay.
Oh, he's fine. A little annoyed, but fine. The foam actually polished his bones nicely.
Meanwhile, I couldn't stop humming the Sims bi-mode music the entire time. It was like my brain was stuck on a loop.
Uncontrollably humming the Sims music. That's straight out of the Chalming incident. You are literally living the SCP.
Exactly. That's when it hit me. Maybe this isn't just a fan story. Maybe it's a prophecy.
Oh, don't do that to me, Chalmers. I've already had my fill of spooky omens this week. Did I tell you about the noises?
No, but I sense we're about to hear something good.
So, a couple of nights ago, I'm working on a project for Overwatch when I start hearing this weird, rhythmic tapping. At first, I thought it was Sonic trying to break his record for running laps around the block. Again, but then the lights start flickering.
Sounds like a normal Tuesday in Memfield when Skinner once again connects his nuclear reactor to the power grid and the municipal utilities have to start up the power grid again.
Normally I'd agree, but then I hear this voice, faint but crystal clear, saying, "It's only dinner for now."
Only dinner? Are you sure that wasn't just your neighbor's role playing some dystopian dining scenario?
I wish. But no, it came from outside. And when I went to check, all I found was Shadow leaning against a tree like he was brooding in an anime.
Classic Shadow, always in the wrong place at the right time.
Are we sure he's not behind this SCP letter? He's got the edgy vibe for it.
Maybe. But honestly, I'm putting my money on Mr. Jellybeans.
My alligator, what did Mr. Jellybeans do this time?
Oh, nothing much. Just ripped Sonic Hatch off for the 300th time.
That's definitely in the ballpark of anomalous behavior.
Hey, don't blame him. He's just living his best chaotic life.
Chaotic. That's one word for it. But between Mr. Jellybeans and Shadow lurking around, I'm starting to wonder if Memfield itself is an SCP.
Don't say that, Echo. Next thing we know, we'll be getting containment orders in the mail.
Or worse, someone will put Memfield in SCP-914 and crank it do very fine.
Oh no? Can you imagine? Memfield would end up as some hyper-advanced suburb where everyone's powered by chaos energy.
Or it just implode, which honestly would be fitting.
No worries, we have the God Cube. That thing will handle it. Speaking of implosions, doesn't it feel like all this weirdness? The Chalming incident, the humming, the flickering lights, is building up to something.
You mean like a grand finale? Okay, I'm officially spooked. What if the story wasn't just a fanfic? What if it's a warning?
A warning what? Bert Lasagna.
Or worse, meet Chalming so hard that reality breaks.
I mean, if anyone could do it, Chalmers, it'd be you.
Well, whatever's going on, one thing's clear, Memfield just got a whole lot stranger.
And listeners, you haven't even heard the strangest part yet.
All right, let's crack open the Chalming incident document and dive into the madness. First up, SCP-91141-A. Apparently, this anomaly is described as having extreme culinary improvisation skills. Sound familiar to anyone?
Oh, it's definitely you, Skinner. I mean, who else would attempt at Lantine Bawilla Base on a Wednesday night?
And don't forget improvisation part. I'm sure the Atlanteans didn't use Cantuna and what was it? Marshmallow fluff.
It was foam artistry, thank you very much. But fine, I'll take the blame for SCP-9141-A. What about SCP-9141-B, Chalmers? It says there's recept to absurdity.
Guilty as charged. I mean, how could I not be living with you? It's a survival mechanism at this point.
You do seem to have an unnatural tolerance for Skinner's chaos. If there were an SCP containment breach in Memfield, I feel like you'd just shrug and say, oh, it's Skinner again.
It's exactly what I'd say. Though I'd probably hum some bi-mode music while doing it.
Speaking of which, SCP-9141-C, the Sims music, is officially labeled as having psychological effects.
Oh, 100% accurate. That music's practically hypnotic. I played it while tidying my hard light studio last week and ended up alphabetizing my VR cables. Who even does that?
I told you, it's the soundtrack of productivity.
Or a subliminal plot to turn us all into meticulous housekeepers.
Honestly, I would even be mad. But let's talk about Protocol Simlish Silence. Apparently, when SCP-9141-A's kitchen antics escalate, SCP-9141-B is supposed to stay silent to de-escalate the situation.
Oh, so I'm supposed to not laugh while you accidentally flambe the cat food.
Wait, are we sure Protocol Simlish Silence isn't just a fancy way of saying, don't egg him on?
That's exactly what it is. But let's be honest, Chalmers couldn't follow that protocol if his life depended on it.
True. Though, if you ever need contain me, just play the Sims music. That'll keep me in line.
I'd need more than music if I were on the SCP retrieval team for you too. Maybe coffee. A lot of coffee, which you can't drink, but you get the drill.
Coffee and noise, canceling headphones for when the Simlish starts flying.
Well, Echo, if you ever do join the Foundation, I'm nominating you as our designated operative.
Oh, I'd take the job in a heartbeat. Just don't make me babysit Mr. Jellybeans in his little pool. That's a hard pass.
Fair enough. Now, back to the document. What else does it say? Something tells me there's more to this incident than meets the eye.
Oh, there definitely is. And I think it's about time we dig deeper. As listeners, stay tuned. It's about to get anomalous. So, we've dissected the Chalming incident and had a good laugh at how eerily accurate it is. But now I'm starting to wonder, how did it even come to exist?
Funny you should ask, Chalmers, because I have a new theory. A wild one, but hear me out. What if this SCP isn't just a fan story? What if it's a meta-anomaly?
A meta-anomaly? You've got my attention, Echo. Explain.
Okay, think about it. You've been doing this podcast for a while now, right? Your listeners know our quirks, our chaos, and even some of our deep cuts, like old Bartholomew or Chalming tendencies. What if their engagement, listening, commenting, making memes is somehow influencing reality? Like they're blurring the line between fiction and truth, creating anomaly based on us. It's like the listeners are writing us into existence as SCPs.
Okay, now you're spooking me. Are you saying our audience might have magic pens or something?
Not pens, but collective imagination? Maybe. Think about it. It's happened in stories before. Some writer dreams up a world, and suddenly it becomes real. Think about a certain series involving Snow, Rumpelstiltskin, the Evil Queen, and so on.
Are you suggesting that our audience is turning us into a living SCP? Because if so, I hope they at least refine my cooking skills first.
Hold on, though. If the audience is influencing reality, what's stopping them from cranking this up to very fine levels of chaos? We're already one burnt lasagna away from catastrophe.
That's the fun part. The more they engage, the wilder it gets. Maybe Mr. Jellybean's breaking Sonic's hatch isn't just him being a chaotic alligator. It's fan generators energy.
If that's true, we're going to need backup. Do you think Sonic would agree to be our containment breach specialist?
He'd probably demand chili dogs as payment, and good luck keeping Shadow out of it. He'd want a moody side role.
Oh, Shadow would be the perfect SCP operative. My methods are classified.
Jokes aside, if reality is getting rewritten, what's next? Are we going to wake up in Simlish one day?
Funny you mentioned Simlish, Chalmers, because I haven't told you both about something that happened this morning.
Oh no, Skinner, what did you do?
Please tell me it doesn't involve the stove.
No stove this time, but I found another envelope.
Another one like the first?
Why am I not surprised? Wait, why didn't you mention this earlier?
I wanted to save the drama for the podcast.
Skinner, this is not good podcast content. This is a plot twist in a horror movie.
Okay, where is it? Are we opening it? Please tell me we're opening it.
Right here, and yes, we're opening it live for all our listeners.
Oh, this is a bad idea.
All right, it's sealed the same way as the first, wax and all. Let's see what's inside.
If it says, "You're next," I'm out.
Please don't joke about that.
Okay, here's the note. It's written in Simlish.
Wait, what?
Simlish, like actual Simlish. What does it say?
I'll read the translation at the bottom. It says, "See you at dinner."
Nope, absolutely not.
Skinner, tell me you're messing with us.
I wish I were, but there's more. Listen.
The faint sound of the Sims 1 by mode music begins to play in the background.
Is that coming from your studio?
Skinner, please tell me you didn't hook up a speaker for dramatic effect.
I didn't. It's coming from nowhere.
Okay, I take it back. Listeners, stop manifesting us into SCPs. Please and thank you.
What do we do now?
We keep going, because whatever's happening, we need to figure it out before dinner.
I suddenly don't feel so charming anymore.
This better not turn into a dinner party from hell.
Whatever it is, we're facing it together. Listeners, hang tight. Things are about to get very strange. Okay, this is escalating quickly. The Sims music is getting louder, and it's definitely not coming from my speakers.
Are you sure? Skinner, please tell me you didn't leave Spotify on autoplay as some elaborate prank.
Guys, I hate to break it to you, but this isn't a prank. That music, it's coming from the studio.
The studio, but I locked it before we started recording.
First mysterious envelopes, now haunted studio. What's next? Simlish ghosts?
Honestly, I'd take a ghost over whatever this is, but we need to check it out.
Fine, let's go, but I'm bringing old Bartholomew for moral support.
Skinner grabs old Bartholomew on his arm, while he was watering his palm tree in the entrance, and drags him with the trio. They shuffle nervously toward the studio, the Sims music growing louder with every step.
Skinner, you're holding our pet skeleton like it's a weapon. What's old Bartholomew going to do? Rattle them to death?
He's an emotional support skeleton, okay? Don't judge me.
Sorry to the interruption, but quiet, you too. We're here. Okay, I'm officially creeped out.
Me too. But wait, what if we just skip dinner?
What? Is that your big plan to save the world?
Think about it. The note said, "See you at dinner," right? If there's no dinner, there's no creepy meeting. Problem solved.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Skinner might be onto something. No dinner, no anomaly. Let's just go out for burgers in town and call it a night.
I mean, I love the idea of not dealing with creepy Simlish entities, but do you really think we can trick whatever this is?
Worth a shot. I'll happily take my chances with fast food over eldritch dinner guests.
Perfect, let's grab our coats and...
A loud creak echoes through the studio as the door slowly swings open. The Sims' music swells, almost deafening.
Did anyone else just hear that?
Hear it? I'm about 5 seconds from running.
Wait, look! Something's moving there in the shadows!
A shadowy figure steps into view. The music reaches a crescendo as the tension becomes unbearable.
Skinner, if that's one of your alligators again.
The figure steps fully into the light, revealing Van Goat, Memfield's mayor, wearing a ceremonial sash and holding a clipboard. Skinner, you've learned your final lesson. I'm proud of you, Van Goat said.
What?
Van Goat, you're behind this.
Indeed, my good citizens, as mayor of Memfield, I felt it was my civic duty to address a rather fiery concern brought up by the townsfolk, Van Goat mentioned.
Is concerned?
Yes, Skinner. The residents of Memfield have lodged numerous complaints about your frequent culinary infernos. So, with the help of some devoted fans, I decided to teach you a lesson. One that would stick, Van Goat said with a funny tone in their voice.
Oh my gosh, this entire thing was staged.
And the Sims music.
Courtesy of Loomis and Luna, our local audio wizards. They really captured the vibe, didn't they? Van Goat said with a smile in their face. Now, a group of fans steps out from the shadows, clapping and cheering. Among them are Loomis, Luna, Arctic, Purple Tomberry, Deputies, Kids for Life, Rachel Rocks, Professor Rainbow, Shia Fox, Zip Zap Gorilla, Given the Rat Vanilla, Lotsa, Moo Bunny and even more.
Wait, you're all behind this?
We had to do it. Skinner, ArticTiger said, laughing. It was either this, or we start issuing fire permits for every dinner party you host.
Oh, this is too good.
But fear not, Skinner, Van Goat said. We know you mean well, which is why we've decided to give you a little something.
For me.
A small robot rolls forward, shaped like a fire extinguisher with arms and legs, and adorned with a chef's hat. Meet Flarebot 9000, your new kitchen assistant, programmed by me, ArticTiger said. Designed to extinguish fires and encourage proper cooking techniques.
A fire extinguisher robot? This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And it even has a chef hat. That's adorable.
Thank you, everyone. This might actually be the turning point for me.
The fans and hosts share a laugh, the atmosphere light and joyful as the tension lifts. Skinner, we believe in you, Van Goat and Loomis said. Just try to keep the infernos to a minimum, all right?
No promises, but I'll do my best.
As the scene winds down, the camera pans to Skinner's front door, where a third envelope rests ominously. The faint strains of Sims music play as the screen fades to black. In this way, a cliffhanger is induced, leaving the listener in suspense and fear as to whether a higher entity is behind everything. However, this is not discussed in detail in this scene, as I have no further context, and it's not appropriate for a family-friendly podcast. If changes are desired, please let me know so that I can adapt the script.
Well, folks, what a wild ride this has been. I think it's safe to say this is one for the Memfield history books.
No kidding. From mysterious envelopes to haunted Sims music and a surprise intervention by Van Goat and our amazing fans, this episode had it all.
And let's not forget the real star of the show, Flarebot 9000. Skinner, I fully expect to see that little guy putting out your next culinary experiment.
Oh, you will. Flarebot and I are already a team. And I have to say, to all our incredible listeners and fans out there, thank you. This gift means the world to me.
Seriously, you all went above and beyond. Not only did you make us laugh, you made Skinner think twice about turning his kitchen into a fire pit.
And honestly, that's a win for Memfield. So, to everyone who took part, Loomis, Luna, Arctic, Moo, Bunny, Vaunt, Rachel, and the rest of you, you're all legends.
Absolutely. And thank you, dear listeners, for joining us for this chaotic, hilarious, and slightly heartwarming episode. We couldn't do this without you.
We'll see you all next week, hopefully with less smoke and fewer ominous envelopes.
But just as much fun. Bye, everyone.
Dag-da.
Stay dang dag.
The Sims Buy mode music plays softly in the background as the podcast ends.